Hey guys, welcome back to HyperTora. I've got my Tokyo treat here for February. It's arrived really nice and early this month, so hopefully that means now we're over the Christmas rush, where everything arrived a couple of weeks later than usual. So it's pretty cool. I think this is almost one of the earliest dates we've received a box after shipping, which is pretty cool. And this should be some sort of Valentine's themed box, considering it's for February. So it'll be interesting to see what's inside. But before I open it up, I want to wish you all a Happy New Year, and I hope you all had a good Christmas and a New Year. But let's open this up and see what we have inside. So it looks very pink, which is what we're expecting for Valentine's Day for February. So the theme this month is Share the Love, which is pretty cool. So I think most Februaries have some sort of Valentine's Day related theme. Obviously they try and come up with a different name for it each time. But yeah, so let's open this booklet up on... we've got another leaflet in here. Not sure what that's for. So, open it up on our snack menu, which makes it easier for me to tell what we actually have. So, start off, our very first item at the top of the box is Kit Kats. It looks like strawberry mochi Kit Kat, so that looks like a strawberry sort of surrounded by red bean paste inside some mochi. That's a premium box item, so it's a strawberry Daifuku Kit Kats, if I pronounced that right, probably not. So that would be interesting to try. I haven't actually tried this flavour of Kit Kat before. I know I've done a previous video several years ago trying out different Kit Kat flavours. This wasn't one of them, so this is a new one to me. And I quite like mochi, so it'd be interesting to see what that one tastes like. Next up, we have a Savory Snack, some sort of dragon-shaped potato chip. So this should be from our classic box, and it's they call it dragon chips in the booklet. It says unique Japanese flavour pairing. So it'd be interesting to see what flavouring that is. It sounds like butter and teriyaki. So I don't think I've tried that before. I'm not sure what teriyaki is. So that'd be an interesting flavour profile to try out. Next up, we have some caramel corns. These seem like your plain traditional caramel corns. You do get them in various different flavours from Japan. A bit like Kit Kats come in different flavours. We do occasionally get different caramel corns in the Japanese Tokyo treat boxes. So this is actually a premium box item. I'll open these up. Obviously I've had these before. It's been a little while since we've had some plain ones. But I suppose the sweetness of these goes with the kind of sweet February theme. After that, up next we got some chocolates from Calpico. So these will be, I imagine, just strawberry and chocolate. And these are from your classic box, as far as I can... No, they're from your premium box. So it's a strawberry and chocolate hearts. Goes very well with the theme for February. I'm not sure if there's a cone in there. I think they're just hearts. I don't know why there's a cone on the front. But these chocolates are usually pretty nice. I quite enjoy the chocolates that come on the February boxes. There was one a couple of years ago which had a kind of nice Sakura kind of jelly gooey centre, which was the favourite chocolate I've ever had from Japan in these boxes, but I haven't been able to find them since, unfortunately. Next up, we have what looks like some form of Swiss roll with maybe a strawberry centre in the middle. So this is from your classic box, and it says Uncle Pierre's roll cake. So that's just going to be a spongy cake with a kind of creamy strawberry centre. So that'll be interesting to try out. We have these kind of cakes in the UK, but they're usually giant rolls rather than tiny little cakes. Next up, we have another cake. It's a cream cake, which looks to be strawberry again. So this is from the classic box as well, and the booklet says this is a strawberry and milk cream cake. It looks like it's got a very nice kind of chocolatey pattern over the top. So I haven't seen this before in Tokyo treat boxes, so that'll be interesting and new to try out. A lot of these things are obviously going to be strawberry based, it seems, for February. So next up we have some strawberry flavoured chocolate snacks. This is from our classic box, and it says strawberry chocolate balls. So that'd be interesting. Whenever I see some of these, you never know if there's like some sort of puffed corn in the centre, which we've had before with chocolate on the outside. So if they're plain chocolate balls, that'd be interesting to try out. Next up, we have Blendy Stick. So it looks like our drink for the month is another hot drink. So this, it says Blendy Stick, Chicha Cafe or latte, I think. So, it's not latte. It's a popular Japanese tea, which is mixed with creamy milk. So we'll try that out later on at the end of the video, because I'll have to go and boil some water for that one. It's the second month in a row we've had some sort of tea. I kind of mix. I know some people are mixed on the tea. Some people don't like receiving them. They prefer the sodas. I quite like the sodas because I don't drink tea very regularly. If I do drink it, yeah, it's something interesting to try out none the least. Next up, we've got some apple snacks. So this feels like a gummy, and it looks like we got some hearts there. I don't know if they're half and half in flavouring based on the image there. So these are from the premium box, and it says honey and apple pure gummies. So it'd be interesting to see if they're all a half and half or whether they're just a mixture. That's something new we haven't had before, so that's quite interesting. Next up, we have some heart marshmallows, strawberry again. So there's a lot of strawberry in this box. This box probably isn't for you if you don't like strawberry items. But yeah, I love marshmallows, so these are going to be pretty cool. We had some marshmallows in last month's box. So that just satisfies my sweet tooth even more. Next up, we have a Savory Snack, which looks like some cheese flavoured puffed chips. So this is from the classic box. It's Edgy cheese chips. So I don't know if we've seen these before. We've obviously had various cheese flavoured puff chip kind of things. They look like they're going to be kind of puff chips rather than normal chips, but I won't know till we open those later on. Next up, we have an ice cream cone candy, which is a cone with some marshmallow in it, which again, strawberry. So that's pretty cool. Occasionally we get these little cones with chocolate in, so it's not often we get ones with marshmallow in, so that'll be an interesting tryout. Next up, we have some Calbee Savory Snacks again. This is some potato chips in the shape of hearts, which will be why they work for Valentine's. But the flavours on these will be different vegetables. So you don't tend to get things like this in the UK, so they're quite interesting to try out if you've never had them before. They don't taste that bad. The vegetable flavouring is never too strong from what I remember. So they're worth giving a go, and they're from your classic box. Next up, we have what looks to be like a chocolate cereal, maybe nutty bar. So this is obviously from our classic box as well, and if I can find it, it says Black Thunder. So the ultimate Valentine's cookie. So rich cocoa with sweet chocolate topping to create a crunchy cookie harmony. I'm not entirely sure whether there's nuts in this. The picture looks like it may or may not be. It's hard to tell. So if you've got allergies, you may want to watch out with this one. Next up, we have another chocolate item in the shape of a kind of flower. So this is from the classic box as well, and this is Bubby Choco Stick. So I think it's just a plain stick of chocolate flavoured, maybe some sort of corn, or I don't know how to pronounce what kind of that is. It's probably not corn, but it's a kind of chocolatey, biscuity style thing. Next up, we have a Choco Bat. We had some of these earlier last year, but in smaller ones. So these are from the classic box again. They're kind of like a biscuit stick, I think, or crunchy bread stick, which has just been coated in chocolate. So nothing too new with that one. And then finally, our last item in here, which is from the classic box as well, is our Pocky, which is in strawberry flavour for Valentine's to go with the rest of the strawberry theme. So we've got a lot of strawberry items here, which is pretty funky if you like strawberry, probably not if you don't, but it is Valentine's theme for February, so that makes perfect sense. But that's everything inside the box, and as far as I can see on here, we aren't missing anything, which is always worth checking. But let's try some of these out. So I'll start with the Pocky because they were the first thing or the last thing that I took out. So in here we've got 2 packets, which is absolutely great for when you don't want to eat them all at once. And you've got a little window so you can see what they look like in there, which is pretty cool. So they're not. You do get Pocky in various sizes. I've seen some absolutely giant Pockies I've come back from Japan with before, but these are your standard ones. So you got your Pocky stick there with your strawberry chocolate on top, and they have little, I want to say maybe strawberry chunks or granules or something that's on there as well. They're really nice. It's quite a nice, strong strawberry milky chocolate. And they're particularly nice. Sometimes when I've had Pocky before, I've kind of find the milky taste has had a bit of a tang to it, but they're actually quite nice. So they're some of the best strawberry chocolate Pockies I've had. Next up, we've got our Calbee potato chips, Veggie Hearts. So they're not massive; they're quite small actually. So they're little hearts in various different colours, which probably means various different flavours. They're pretty nice. They're, like I said, they're not particularly strong on the vegetable. You do get a hint of them, but they're almost a bit like plain potato chips with a hint of flavouring on them. So they're nice little savoury snacks if you're feeling peckish, who don't want anything too strong in flavour. Next up, we have our cheese chips. So these look like puff balls from the packaging, but they're actually flat. But they are kind of like a puffed snack. I don't know if there's anything I can sort of compare these to for like in the UK or America that I've seen. The closest thing I could think of would maybe be Quavers, but not as airy as Quavers. Got smaller bubbles. So, but they're quite nice. Light hint of cheese, so they're not overpowering, but pretty moreish as well. Next up, we have our Choco Bat. So the entirety of this is covered in chocolate, and if I snap a bit open, it's like a little breadstick on the inside. I don't think it's I think it's more of an airy breadstick than your traditional solid one. It's pretty nice. I'd say it's not like you're gonna like the breadsticks you get in the UK when it says breadsticks in the booklet. It's more like a cross between bread and cake because it's a bit too soft for a dried breadstick, but a little bit more chewy and crunchy than a cake. So kind of a slight cross in between. Next up, we have our chocolate star, flowery shaped thing. It's almost like a little cereal bar there. It's pretty cool. The one thing I haven't seen this month is we haven't actually got an Amiibo, which is unusual for Tokyo Treat, because I think it's been a while since we haven't had one. But this will probably be the closest thing to one. That's really nice. That tastes just like chocolate coated cereal, which is really nice. It tastes like those kind of things where you get cereal, you mix chocolate in, and you make as a kid. It tastes just like those. Pretty cool. Next up, we have our chocolate crunchy Black Thunder bar. So this also looks a little bit like a cereal bar that's maybe been coated in chocolate. And it looks like milk chocolate on the outside and some sort of dark, richer chocolate on the inside. I think the crunch is very much a biscuit style texture. So I can't taste any nuts in it, but I can't guarantee that. It's pretty nice. Again, it's similar to your chocolate coated cereals, but with your biscuits instead, sort of mixed up in the same way. So that's pretty nice. Next up, we have a lot of strawberry based items. So we'll start with the cream cake. So this has got a nice bit of air in it to stop the cake from crashing. There. Well, that looks pretty cool on the outside. So we got kind of swirly chocolate on the outside, and I can sort of see a pinkish centre for the strawberry. It almost looks a little bit flattened, or a little bit like one of the Swiss rolls we're going to have later. That's really nice. It's got a nice creamy centre with the strawberry. It's definitely cake. It's got a different kind of cakey texture than maybe what you're used to. But that's really nice nonetheless. Next up, we have our strawberry marshmallow. Again, this is also filled with air to help with shipping, so they don't get crushed. It's really nice to get things like this, which would typically be really crushed on a long trip from Japan. To actually arrive fully intact is really nice. But yeah, so on top of this one, we've got a strawberry marshmallow topping. The last few ones we've got are these, which are slightly bigger. I've always had chocolate on them. That's really nice. And on the inside there, it's actually got a little gooey strawberry centre, which I absolutely love when they've got kind of gooey, liquidy centres in them. Makes them really nice. Next up, we have our heart marshmallows, which are continuing our strawberry theme. So, they're all the same inside the packaging. They're little marshmallows. They're pink on the outside with a white centre. I'd say there's probably not a very strong hint of strawberry in there. It's probably a light hint. It tastes more marshmallow than strawberry. But it could be because I've just had the very strong strawberry cone. But they're pretty nice, light and fluffy. And a nice thing, maybe if you don't want to eat them all at once, to just sort of snack on. So I could see myself sitting there and eating that whole packet all at once. Next up, we have our pure honey and strawberry gummies, and the way the sugar's on these, it makes me think they're going to be slightly sour. But I'm not too sure. So these are half and half. So we've got a strawberry half and a honey half. That does have a sour tinge to it. Ooh. So you can always tell by the way the sugar is spread on the outside of these kind of candies. They're going to be a bit sour. It's quite interesting. It's a flavour profile I haven't tasted before. So it wasn't strawberry, it was apple and honey, not strawberry and honey. So you can definitely taste the honey, and you can definitely taste the apple, and you can taste them combining. It's quite interesting actually. I think it's the first time in a while I've had a treat that's got honey in it, but I can actually taste the honey profile. So that's really nice. I think the sourness is a bit of a shock, but otherwise that's pretty nice actually. And that surprised me a little bit. Next up we have our strawberry Swiss roll style cake. So it's kind of white on the filling. It looks more white than it does strawberry, but it does look like a tiny little Swiss roll cake. I've broken it up, so it looks a little bit better on the centre. There's maybe a slight pinkish tinge there, so it might not be as strong as the other strawberry cake we had. So that one's nice and light and fluffy compared to the other cake. It's a lot lighter and fluffier. A little bit creamier. I'd say there's some strawberry in there, but not a strong hint of strawberry. But nonetheless, that's quite nice and refreshing as well. Next up, we've got our strawberry chocolate balls. And I always wary of these because in the UK, normally if you get a chocolate ball like this, it's either got raisins or peanuts or something on the inside. Just based on the shape of it, because it's not a perfect ball. And whenever we've had these from Japan before, they've also had things like puff corn on the inside. So I'm interested to see if these are fully chocolate or if they've got something else on the inside. No. So they've got a puff corn on the inside, which I'm hoping you can see on the camera there. They're pretty nice. The corn on the inside is the closest thing in the UK I can describe that to as sugar puffs, which is puffed up sugar coated corn, which is quite nice on its own, coated in strawberry chocolate. You taste the corn in that more than you do taste the strawberry. Nonetheless, it's a really nice snack. Next up, we've got our dragon potato chips. Hard to, I think it smells a bit like plainish, maybe slightly fishy, and these have a nice really weird swell to them, which would be the dragon shaping. This is the very first, I think I haven't seen potato chips like this from Japan at all, so it's quite interesting to see something like this. I don't know how to describe the flavour profile on this. It almost has a slight hint of fishiness to it, but at the same time it doesn't. Obviously, I've never really tasted the flavours in here. Like the butter, but not the taraco. So I'm not entirely sure how to describe that. Obviously, if you get your plain potato chips you're used to, it's close to that, but with a slight hint of something. So if you get this box, try it out. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, how you describe that, because I'm not entirely sure where to go with that one. Next up, we have our caramel corn. So we've had these in the past, but we haven't had plain ones for a little while. So usually when we get flavoured ones, they're a lot whiter than these traditional ones, which are more caramelly. And they're really nice. It's been a while. I almost actually forgot the flavour of these original ones. So actually, I don't think these are plain. Now that I've seen a picture on and I've tried these, it says caramel corn. There's a peanut on the side of it, and I do taste a kind of hint of peanut in that. I'm not sure you meant to, but I do slightly taste some peanut in there. So maybe they're not quite plain. It doesn't mention peanuts in the booklet. Which is why I thought it was original and plain. But with the peanut on there, the picture on there, and the slight taste, I think there is some peanuts in that one. So if you've got allergies, do be careful. Next up, we've got our Caplico chocolate hearts. So these are really cool. So these are carefully packaged in a little tray. I suppose really nice presentation for Valentine's Day in case you're giving it to someone. And we can pop these out. So you've got strawberry on one side and just sort of plain chocolate on the other. They're really nice. Sweet chocolates you mix between your strawberry white chocolate, which is really nice sweet, with your plain milk chocolate on the other side, which brings that sweetness down slightly. So that's a really nice mixture to try out. Very traditional, I think, kind of Japanese Valentine's chocolate for this style of box. Next up, we have our Kit Kats, which are our Mochi Kit Kats. So in here we've got quite a few. It's really nice thing about these packs is that they're a share pack essentially. Is what they used to call them, share packs and party packs, but they've got rid of that naming a little while ago. So I don't exactly know how many in here. I think there's probably 11 it says on the packaging there. But they're really nice because it means when I do these unboxings I try one or two of these and then I've got a nice pile of Kit Kats around the house to occasionally try when I'm peckish. So so there's obviously white chocolate, and you can possibly make out some little specks in there, which I imagine's either red bean paste or strawberry. I can smell some sweetness and some sort of strawberry in there at the same time as I think I can smell some red bean paste. So I can definitely taste the mochi and the red bean paste in there. I think almost couldn't taste any strawberry, but I think I got a little hint of it towards the end, which may be the little strawberry chunks. I haven't had a flavour profile like that in these in a little while. They're ever so slightly similar to the Sakura mochi, the cherry blossom mochi we've had before, because they've got that kind of slight red bean kind of. It almost tastes a little bit like the Sakura leaf in it, even though it's a strawberry red bean one. So it's a very similar flavouring in that. Pretty nice, but it might be slightly odd if you've never tried mochi before. It'll be a kind of different flavour that you've not tried before. But yeah, if you've got the box, give it a go. They're Kit Kats, so they're still quite nice and sweet, but worth a try. So next up, we have our Blendy Stick teas, which come in a bunch of packs. Now this feels like a powder. So we are going to get some hot water and we can try this out. And I've just noticed we don't have a DIY candy in this box, which is an unusual change. I don't know whether this tea's meant to be our do-it-yourself, though it's a little disappointing not to have a DIY candy. I know a lot of our DIY candies have become a bit same-ish. There are other DIY candies Tokyo Treat could have tried, but I don't know if they don't because they're more expensive possibly. Because you do get ones you can microwave and do all other sorts of things with. So it's a little bit disappointing not to have a DIY candy in this box. So hopefully they'll be back next month. But let's try this Blendy Stick out, and I will be back in a second with some hot water. Okay, I'm back now. I've got a nice mug of hot water to try out here. I've also got some milk, because from the packaging here compared to the other teas we've had, it does look like you add milk. So we've got our Blendy Stick, which we tear open. There is no instructions for this, and it does look like a powder, so I assume we're just going to pour this in, which is odd for me to have a tea where we pour this in, which is why I thought it was a coffee or a latte rather than a tea. but it does say creamy milk. And the booklet does describe this as oh, well, I can't see. Maybe it isn't tea. I don't know where I read tea. Don't know why I thought tea. It might actually be coffee. So I'm not a big coffee fan, so I'm not entirely sure what this is going to taste like. There is already a bit of milky, creamy flavouring in there, I believe, mixed with creamy milk. But I think I'm going to add a little bit more in, which will cool the drink down a bit as well. So, now I've made it. It doesn't taste very coffee-like. There is maybe a bit of tea in there. I'm not entirely sure. Where? I don't remember reading in this booklet. I thought I've read tea. So this is it says in the booklet, perfect partner for your Valentine's treats. Warm your heart and your hands with this popular Japanese tea. It does say tea. So small they can read it. So it's an odd tea for me to not have a tea bag. I've never had one which needs powder. It smells a little bit different from your normal tea. It's quite sweet and creamy. It's quite nice. Normally when I have tea I add sugar, because I find the sugar brings a bit more of the flavouring out. But that's quite nice tea. There's a little bit of richness to it. It's hard to describe and compare that to other teas. It's obviously not a flavoured tea. That's quite a nice blend actually. I could see myself drinking these pretty easily. So that's actually a really nice thing. I'm quite happy with that. Hopefully next month we'll maybe be back to some sodas, because we've had tea for a couple of months in a row. But yeah, that's really nice actually. That's I wasn't quite expecting that. It's different. I don't know how you get that into a powder rather than a tea bag which you soak. So that's a new experience for me, which maybe gives it the slightly different flavour profile, because rather than brewing tea from a tea bag with water, you've actually got the powder mixed in with the water, so maybe that's how we get the richer flavouring. But that's everything in this month's box. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do comment down below and let me know what you thought of the box. Did you think there was too much strawberry in it? The theme of the month with Valentine's, they've actually picked strawberry as the flavouring of the month to go with that. So I'm not entirely surprised with the choices for February. Let me know what you think about not having a DIY in this box. I think it's the first box I've had in a very long time, maybe even since I've started getting Tokyo Treat, but there hasn't been a full-on DIY in it. If providing you discount making your own drink as a DIY, so that's a little bit different. And it's the first time in a while we haven't had a Amiibo stick, or I've forgotten the name of them, the little corn sticks, in a while. So let me know down in the comments below what you think of that. But otherwise, please do hit that like button down below as well if you enjoyed watching the video, and please do hit the subscribe button if you want to see more unboxing videos. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time.